All right, all right, all right. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Misfit Corner Scams. This is the artist known as Andrew speaking. Wearing my Victory Jaguar headband. For those of you who don't know, last weekend, the Jags won, and I said I would wear my special Trevor Lawrence headband and in honor of it. And hopefully they'll win again this weekend, tomorrow, so I can wear it again next weekend, next Saturday. Oh, my head is all. For some reason, the headband gets in the way of the hat. I don't understand it, but it's just so full and crazy. Anyway, I hope everybody has had a fantastic week so far. Um, this was a very, very busy week. Lots and lots and lots of scam calls, lots and lots of recordings. But I have a really funny one to tell you guys about. I actually have to find the audio recording because I want to make it into a video for tomorrow. No, for Monday. But oh, hey, Manuel's here. Manuel says, Good evening, my good friend. Drew, Jaguars won last week. Happy Saturday Night Fever. Absolutely. Rosemary's here as well. Rosemary says, Hi, Andrew. Great to see you. Thank you, ma'am. Appreciate you coming in. Oh, I sent the invite out to Todd and Avery, see if either one of them be able to join. Just so I have somebody else to bat around with. But hope everybody's having a good week and a good weekend. The Medicare calls have been pretty much nonstop, crazy around here, and I've started to, when I don't have a lot of time to screw with them, I kind of just start saying stuff that I know will piss them off and get them to hang up the phone, which honestly is perfectly fine. The crazy thing is they keep calling back. They still continue to call, but that's all right. Oh, hey, Rosie's here. Hey, Rosie's. She says, not sure about the baseball hat, but don't they make beanie hats with headphones built in? Hello, everybody. Hugs. They probably do. Actually, the headphones right now is keeping the Misfit Corner Scams hat on my head. I had to unzip it or unvelcro it in order to fit it around the massive headband that I'm wearing. By the way, so you guys know, this headband with the flowing locks was my sister and my brother-in-law's idea of a gag gift for Christmas this past Christmas, and I absolutely loved it. we always we always tend to get each other something stupid, something silly. Actually, last year I bought all the boys in the family, my dad, my son, my brother-in-law, my nephew. I bought them all outrageous, ugly Christmas sweaters, and which of course they put on for a couple of photographs, and then they will probably never, ever, ever put them on again. But I told my sister I'd use this headband all the time. So, as you can see, and just for those of you who are not aware, Trevor Lawrence, long blonde hair, pretty boy, quarterback for the Jacksonville Jaguars, made I think it was Gatorade commercial where he's drinking Gatorade and he's whipping his hair around, and that's why I'm screwing around doing that. Just so you know. Rosemary says, "What's with the wig?" Well, that's it. The Jacksonville Jaguars won last Sunday, and I said if they won, I would wear my official Trevor Lawrence headband on the live stream. And the headband, of course, is connected to the wig. So, yeah, I know it's silly, it's stupid. Welcome to the show. That's what we are sometimes, silly and stupid. Manuel says, when I went to my great nephew Maverick, happy birthday party today. It's a cold Saturday. Yeah. I'm so, I am looking forward to the cold weather. Today here in town, it was in the 80s, low 80s. So I'm looking forward to the cooler weather. Jacksonville, our winter, what we would consider winter, lasts about 10 days. We get into freezing weather Usually lasts about a week to 10 days, and then that's it. And it's glorious when it comes. I am always wearing t-shirts and shorts. Even on a freezing day, I'll wear t-shirts and shirts just simply because it just feels so good. But then again, I'm a crazy Floridia boy. Actually, I'm a New Englander who's been stuck in Florida for well over, God, 30 plus years now. And so technically I consider myself a Floridian, even though I wasn't born here. But yeah, that's how it goes. Manuel says, "Good evening to Rosemary. Happy Saturday." Rosie says, love, cool, fun gifts." Oh yes, yes. We we have a tendency to try to one up each other with our gifts, and I honestly haven't even started looking for what we're going to do this year. So I'll let you guys know if I find something funny, or if anybody's got a suggestion. We like doing. There was a couple years back and forth where my mother and I would exchange salt and pepper shakers, and just the stupidest salt and pepper shakers you could find, like Santa Claus and Mrs. Claus and Frosty and Mrs. Frosty. And it got really ridiculous for a while between her and I. And I think we kind of gave up at some point because, you can only go so ridiculous with salt and pepper shakers. But with the boys and the family, it can never be too ridiculous, you know? Oh, and the other thing my sister got for me for Christmas, well, Christmas slash birthday, because my birthday is right around Christmas, was my Misfit Corner Comics and Misfit Corner Scams t-shirts. She made me a bunch of shirts, and I wear them all the time, everywhere I go. She originally gave me 6 of them, and then she gave me another bag full of them. So I've got plenty just for me, just for me. So I wear them all the time, and love my sister. She's fantastic. She actually commented on one of my videos, so she watched one of my videos recently. It's nice when family supports you. Ask my mother, my wife, my children, my mother-in-law, my cousin, my other cousin, any other family member if they've watched any of my videos, and you know what they'll tell you? But that's okay. That's okay. Ah. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, I skipped one. Rosie says, "Wonderful, Manuel. Hope everyone had fun at the party." Absolutely. Rosemary says, gives Manuel a clap, a hand. Manuel says hello to Rosie's cottage. Happy Saturday. Absolutely. Rosemary says hello again. Sorry for misspelling. Oh, that's all right. Trust me, if my life depended on how well I spelled, I would have been long gone. Actually, to be honest with you guys, I don't know if any of you have ever had like a corporate type job, where one of the things you have to do your own annual assessments. You got to write something about your accomplishments for the year and so forth. It's something that's very common, and I always, when it comes to the question, what is your biggest strength? What is your biggest weakness? Always can fall back on horrible speller as my biggest weakness. The bad part is I've never really tried to improve that. Now, I mean, everybody out there is familiar with spell check and that little red ziggy line underneath a word when you misspell it. You know, I really, it really stinks. My cards for my videos, I I put together in Photoshop, and I always add the words like what other little blurb I'm doing, and sometimes it's not until I'm typing the same wordage verbiage into the YouTube description that I realize misspelled a word, because in Photoshop you don't get the spell check, but in YouTube it's just like any other website. It spell checks and gives you and tells you when you write a word wrong. The one I did recently was the word hilarious. I misspelled that, but luckily I caught it and was able to go back and change it in my card. But if you guys ever see anything misspelled by me, it was either on purpose or I'm an idiot. Is either one of those two things. Anyway, let me go ahead and catch up on the chat. Um, Manuel says we got more rain on Monday afternoon. We get cold for the next weeks. we I don't we had rain when this latest storm came through, but it was not deep, hard rain like you'd expect from a hurricane. It was a lot of it was just wet, which was a good thing. And the fact that we didn't have to water the plants, water the grass because it was wet enough. But it lasted about a day and a half. But we haven't had a hard rain in a while, and it's always a good thing when it happens. But it does get cold, and that's always a good thing. Rosie says hugs to Manuel. Kathy's here, says love your videos. Oh, well, thank you, Kathy. I appreciate that. I thoroughly enjoy making them and sharing them with you guys. So thank you. Appreciate it. Manuel says hug to Rosie Cottage, sweet lady. Absolutely. Oh, Fearful Milk's here. My good friend from the other side of the pond. Rosie's technically is on the other side of the pond as well. Yeah, Avery would be making fun of me for making that comment because he knows I'm an idiot, and that's okay. But how's it going, Fearful Milk? Hope everything's good with you, my friend. Manuel says, I just watched your video earlier today. Scamming medical card was funny. Yep. Kathy says, greetings from Arizona. Very nice, Arizona. I've never been that far west. I think the furthest west I've ever gone, I know I've been to New Orleans, and I've been to parts of Missouri. I think that's the furthest I don't think I've ever been to Arizona. So my wife and I talked about traveling the country, going to different comic book conventions. But by the time the kids were out of the house and we were able to do that, both of us had health issues, which prevented us from doing long trips. So who knows if I'll ever get around anymore, but you never know. Arizona, very cool. Well, thank you, Kathy. I appreciate you coming in and saying hi. Manuel says, my team Dallas Cowboys play tomorrow afternoon. Well, very good. Very good. I'm not sure who the Jags play tomorrow. Oh, I think it's Kansas City. And they're always a good team. So fingers crossed the Jags play well. So Fearful Milk says, still have not talked in Discord and flexed your comics channel art. I see. How is your stream going? Well, not too bad. Not too bad. Well, we switched up Fearful Milk. We switched up part of what we're doing. The comic stream on my comic channel is on Wednesdays. Thursday, I go to Todd's stream and do lore games. Which, if you guys have never checked in on the lore games, his channel is Clever Era. He's building a comic book world. He has the characters and he's building the stories behind it. And we get together on Thursdays and we build and throw out different ideas for stories. And we're currently working on one right now about a cop, a good, honest, decent cop that goes undercover in a prison in order to solve the murder of the death of his father, who was also a cop that had gone undercover in prison. And then we're building the story around that simple idea and adding so much more. And we've thrown out so many crazy things. And we've got underground superhuman fights. We've got a warden who wants to turn the prison into like a Jurassic Park theme park. We've got all these different ideas, and we're building the idea for the story doing this live stream. So if you ever get a chance, Clever Era, I think we start at 8:30 Thursday nights. We believe it or not, guys, it's a lot of sitting around talking, throwing out silly, stupid ideas. A lot of it is based on comics. A lot of it's based on movie references, and we end up just having a really fun time, beating each other up, making fun of each other. It's a lot of fun. So if you ever get a chance, stop by and check it out. If you might find it interesting. You might find it completely insane and never want to come back again, but you never know. You never know. All right, let's see what else is going. Oh, and then of course Friday night, we do a comic stream on Clever Era where we talk about comics and art and stuff like that. Then, of course, I do this stream Saturday night. And then Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, we take those days off. So, let's see, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, four. I'm involved with streams 4 nights a week. So that's more than enough. That's more than enough. I used to do Monday, Wednesday, Friday on my channel, and that just became very, very overwhelming. But spreading it out over a couple of different channels and switching off days makes it a little bit easier. So I only stream on my channels on Wednesday and Saturday, and Todd's channels Thursday and Friday. But if something comes up and I cancel Wednesday or whatever, it's not a big deal. But I appreciate everybody who comes in, and I appreciate everybody who leaves comments. I love it. I read them all, and let's keep going and checking out what's going on. Let's see. And notice that I completely ignored his mention of the Discord. And I know he knows I did that. I'll get back to it eventually, I promise. Manuel shows a bunch of happy faces. Kathy says, the Wild West, furthest east is Detroit for me. Aha. Well, Florida, Kathy, Florida's fantastic. And we accept anybody. So come and visit, and you might end up staying. Crazy thing, my dad was in the military, and he got stationed here in Jacksonville when I was a kid. We did 2 years in Jacksonville, and then he got stationed in Pensacola. So we moved to the other side of the state, and we lived there for 2 years, and then he retired. And then my parents decided they wanted to come back to Jacksonville because they liked Jacksonville better because it was a growing town. We moved back to Jacksonville. I was in, I guess, the 8th grade. So it was around 88, 87, 88, and I've been here ever since. So, you come and visit, you might end up coming and staying. You never know. And we gladly will take you. Manuel says, you're right, Drew. The Jacksonville Jaguars play the Kansas City Chiefs. Yep. I have a friend of mine whose husband is a big Kansas City Chief fan. So I guess he and I will be rooting against each other out of good old fun, Rosemary says, you are absolutely doing a great job. Just keep it going. All right. Excellent. Excellent. Well, I tell you what, I've talked to my wife about this. I said, one of these days, the scammers are going to stop calling. They're just going to give up on us. They're going to stop calling. And then today, while I was at the store, I got like 4 calls. They're never going to stop calling. I have to check and see if the audio recorded well. But I got one of the Camp Lejeune calls, and I've actually gotten numerous of these. I don't know if you guys have gotten them. I swear they're just calling people randomly and saying, were you ever stationed, or did you ever live near Camp Lejeune? And because it's all part of the big class action lawsuit against the government. And they're just reaching out to people. And a lot of times they're not really representing attorneys representing. They're just trying to fish for information, and they call constantly. And I've told them numerous times I've never been near or at Camp Lejeune, but that doesn't stop them from calling back. But I had one guy today. I decided to go ahead and play with him, and he asked me, said, "Were you ever stationed in Camp Lejeune?" I said, "Yes, of course. Wasn't everybody?" And he goes, "What's your name?" And I told him John Smith, and he started laughing, then cursed me out, and then hung up on me. My name could have been John Smith. I mean, it's a common name, is it not? I mean, but I guess he didn't like that. So, but then again, I got a call like 2 hours later, got another call from the same group of people. So obviously they don't know how to remove numbers from their directory or from their dialer, which just means another opportunity to screw with them later. That's what I do. But anyway, I was joking around with Avery the other night, and we were talking about what a slow day for me would be, and 10 scam calls a day would be a slow day. I get a lot of hangups, which that happens to everybody. Your phone rings, you answer it, and you're waiting, there's nobody there, and then it disconnects. A lot of time that's them testing the number to make sure somebody's going to pick it up. They keep it as a vital number. And I don't get upset when that happens, just simply because I know what they're doing. But 10 calls a day, it's not unusual. I've had days with 30 calls and more, and the majority of them are the Medicare ones. And I keep having the same issue with the Medicare scammers. They call you and they tell you we're gonna get you in contact with a licensed agent who's gonna help you. And at first, I was when I get the license agent on the phone, I'd press the national do not call list. Why are you using a third party to call somebody on the national do not call list? And that tends to get tiring sometimes. They know it. They know what they're doing. They know they're paying these companies, these call centers, to call people whether they're on the national do not call list or not. They know it. They know it, and they don't care. So then I'll start asking questions like, what's your license number? Because a lot of times it'll sound like you're talking to the same to a a person in the same call center, and they take offense to when you ask them for their license number, which an actual license agent should have no problem providing you with that information. So it's a scam there. And then the third situation that I've come across a lot lately is when they finally transfer you to a licensed agent, they're still listening in on the line. And they're doing that on purpose. They're doing that in order to listen for your personal information. It's another type of phishing scheme where they're listening in to get your personal information. And one of the things I've started to do is ask the licensed agent, hey, just in case we get disconnected, do you have a callback number where I can call you back? You won't believe how many times the scammers will disconnect the call at that point. They'll hang up on it because they don't want you to call them. They don't want you to call the licensed agent directly because then that loses out on their ability to scam you. You know, I have one recording. I know I put it up recently where the scammer who initially called me and transferred me, as the lady was giving me her callback number, dumped the line, and she goes, "Oh, there must have been something wrong. There was a technical issue." And I'm like, "No, there was not. You hung up on him, you piece of crap." But I've been doing it a lot more lately, just simply asking, "What's your callback number?" just to see what the scammer's reaction is, whether they disconnect the line or whether they hang up the call altogether. The majority of times, they just disconnect the call and hang it up altogether. It's like, "Ah, you piece of craps." I mean, there's nothing there's nothing that proves a scammer is the one calling you when they do stuff like that, you know? Be very aware of that, guys. Be very aware that when people are calling you, even if they're calling you for a legitimate purpose, like helping you with your Medicare, they are not always trying to help you. Sometimes they're trying to steal your information. A lot of people say, I get a lot of comments on some of my videos. So what's the scam? What's really happening here? Guys, just listen. Just listen to what they're saying and what they're doing and how they react to the things I do. Like ask simple questions like that. You know? I mean, no legitimate Medicare assistance company is going to call you and not know your name. They're just not randomly calling numbers and saying, "Hey, do you have Medicare?" And "Oh, I'm going to help you." No, if they are legitimate, they know your name. And believe it or not, I have gotten calls from legitimate Medicare assistants looking for people in the home by name. It does happen. But if they call you and they don't know your name, that's sign number 1. A lot of people will tell you if they have an Indian sounding voice that's sign number 1. It's not always the case. There are legitimate call centers in India and other countries like that. There's some in Venezuela. Some people were telling me about some in South America. They do legitimate outreaches for companies, for people, you know? But if they are legitimate, they're going to know your name. They're not just gonna call and say, "Hey, do you do this? Well, let me get your information." No, 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 no. They're gonna know exactly who they're contacting. So, that's usually always the big sign. All right, all right. Go back down. Let's see what else is going on. Da, 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 da. Oh, sorry, I missed a whole bunch of stuff. Do, 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 do. Let's see. Kathy says the Wild West. Oh yeah, Detroit. Yep. I've never been to Detroit. Never been to Chicago either. And there's large conventions up there. C2E2 is like the big one in Chicago, but I've never been to that one. Rosemary says, okay, yeah, I already read that one. Sorry guys, I lost my place. Manuel says, what is the channel on YouTube? The other channel, tell me, Drew, please. It's Clever Era. Let me see if I can spell it for you. CLEVER, Clever Era, ERA. So it's 2 words, Clever Era. Era. I don't have a clue where he got that name from. No idea. But that's his channel, and that's the one we live stream. I live stream with him Thursday and Friday. He does live streams throughout the week. They're involved in some NFT projects that they're working on, so they do a lot of outreaches and talking to people involved in those communities, talking about their projects and what they're doing and what they're creating. So he does a lot of that. But on Thursday night we do the lore games, and on Friday nights we talk comics. So always fun. Kathy says Florida is on my bucket list. Well, like I said, we'll take you. We take anybody. Florida is great. There are parts of the state that are absolutely fantastic. There's parts of the states that are iffy. Then there's parts of the state that are really backwater. But I mean, it's a very diverse state, which is actually kind of cool. You can literally go across to another town and be like in a whole different type of world. But it's always interesting. Manuel says my dad moved the family to Louisiana in 1976. Oh wow, you've been there since 1976. Sometimes it feels like I've been here since 76, but I was born a little after that. Well, very good, very good. Now, Manuel, does a lot of your family living in Louisiana? We have a Florida is always known as a retirement place. People retire and move to Florida. A lot of my relatives, my mom's family, my mom's brothers and sisters, my cousins, a lot of them have moved to Florida, Jacksonville specifically. I've got a lot of family that lives in this town, which is nice, which is nice. Sometimes it's a pain in the ass, but sometimes it's nice. Manuel says, I still get emails from the scammers all the time. I don't click on the websites. Nope, don't do it. Don't do it. I still haven't gone through my email junk list because I know I get emails all the time. I get a lot of text messages from scammers all the time, but yeah, never really gone through them. But they're there. I know they're there. Kathy says saying good morning or good afternoon seems to throw them off too. Yes, it does. Uh, I had the one last weekend that called me, and it was a Saturday afternoon, and we were talking, and he said something to me which indicated I knew he wasn't in this country, based on the time zone. And I asked him, "What day is it where you're at?" And he was like, "It's Friday." I said, "It is." Just totally threw him off. But I like it when they say um, over there or down there, because as soon as they say something like that, my first reaction is, "Hey, where are you at? Tell me." And some of their reactions are very funny, especially I love it. I love it. I love it when they mispronounce like Florida. I had one the other day. He said, he said, "I'm in Florida, just like you." And I said, "Florida. Yeah, that's exactly how we pronounce it. Florida." Or Jacksonville. Jacksonville is the craziest one. I don't get that one, but okay. Let's see here. David's here, says hello, E&E. Well, welcome to the show. Welcome, welcome. He says they sell your info to other scammers. Yes, they do. They absolutely do. I know that to be a fact because in the past I've made up fake names and I've gotten calls for those fake names. I get calls for Herschel. I get calls for Timothy. Even though I don't use it very often, I get calls for Carl as well, which the last time I got an Amazon scammer, they don't call nearly as often, but they call maybe once a week. I got an Amazon scammer on the line, and he asked me to verify my name, and I gave him one of the fake names. And I said, "Well, who are you calling for?" And they said, "Carl Walters." And I'm like, "Okay, next time Amazon calls, I will tell them I'm Carl Walters." I've been throwing out some new names. Brandon Hill is a new one I've been using. And of course, you all know Eugene. Eugene Williams, who is Timothy Williams, is a twin brother. That's that way I keep their birth dates correct because they were both born on the same day. Makes sense. I don't know if I told you guys, but Timothy's middle name is Eugene, and Eugene's middle name is Timothy because I am not creative at all when it comes to my character names. But I have fun with them. So I absolutely love it when a scammer calls and asks specifically for one of my fake names. I'm like, oh, you guys, the scammers have made my fake personas real by calling and asking for them. Isn't that hilarious? I love it. I love it. All right. Let's see what else is going on here. Kathy says, asking if they work for CMS Center from Medicare Services works too. CMS Center. Okay. I'll try that one. I did get Betty Bam Bam had shared a training video on YouTube with me for a system called the Avatar system. It's a scripting system that, depending on your answer, it'll prompt what's next in your script. And it was like an Indian guy doing it. And I'll from time to time I'll ask specifically the final expense scammers. I'll ask them if they're using that new avatar system, and my the responses have been mixed. 2 out of 3 will just simply hang up at that point. I mean, honestly, I'm just asking them a question about how they do their job. I'm not, trying to delve into it too much. But I got a guy just the other day. When I asked him that, he was telling me, no, 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 that's actually, he was telling me that's actually an old system. That's like 6 years old. And I said, "Oh, I didn't know that." I mean, I was telling him that I saw the training videos on YouTube, and he eventually hung up on me. But he was telling me that no, he doesn't use that system. It's kind of, he was telling me it was archaic. So when I ask him, "Hey, are you using that new system?" I'm being an idiot. Obviously I don't know. I know the name of the system, but obviously I don't know how new it is. So, oh well. But it's one of those ones, it's one of those questions, like there's different questions that you can ask a scammer that'll make them hang up almost immediately. And the final expense scammers, if you ask if they're using the avatar system, that works 2 out of 3 times. Oh, Avery's here. Let me bring him in real quick.
Hey, what's up,
What's
man?
up? How are you? How are you?
I'm all right. I lost track of time.
That's all right. That's all right.
Kind of out of it.
I understand. It's Saturday night. Hey,
Oh, I'm.
what do you think of my Jaguar headband? Doesn't it
Oh,
look great?
it's terrible. It's terrible.
I was telling them the story about how I got it, that it was
Mm,
my one of my Christmas gag gifts from my sister and my brother-in-law. And I'm going to have to come up with something good for them this year
yeah,
because they are going to try really hard to do something good,
yeah.
and if they
You've
can
got
do
to.
better than this,
You've got to do a character
yeah.
where you wear that as you answer the calls, and you do even more of an exaggerated character.
Okay. Well, that would require me to wear this thing during the day, waiting for calls.
Yeah.
I
No,
don't
just
know if
throw
I
it on real quick. Do the video. Do the video of like stop motion animation of you later. Just take on a very Florida man character.
okay. I'll see if I can do that. Let me catch up on the chat. We've got a lot of people here talking. So, Rosie says this is the page for the other channel, Manuel. Did you share something? Hold on. If you did, I got to go and approve it. That's always one of those things that happens. Let's see. I don't see it. I'll find it and put it in there eventually. Don't worry about it. Manuel says we lived in New Jersey before we moved to Louisiana. I lived in New Jersey for a little while too, but I was a young enough kid. I don't remember it at all. I just know for a fact I lived in New Jersey. Actually, the thing I remember, or I found out many moons later, the town we lived in is the same town where the Hindenburg blew up.
Hmm.
It's not something that they like advertise.
Mm-hmm.
It's not, it's not on the billboards as you enter into town, but it is where the Hindenburg.
Yeah.
So
Have you seen those videos of that plane crash in Dallas today? That air show?
no, and at an air show. Oh
Dude,
crap.
it's bad.
Oh wow.
This one small plane crashed into a B-52 or something,
Oh
or
no.
B-57 or something like that. Dude, fireball on the ground.
Oh
There's
jeez.
no way anyone walked away from that.
That's horrible. I know those pilots are professionals, but crap happens,
Yeah,
Stuff
it's
happens.
and
That's really sad.
because it's at an air show, there's a lot of video out there from like multiple angles of it
Oh
happening.
wow.
It's bad.
All right. I'm not going to share it on the channel, but I'll go check it out later.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. Manuel says, "Yes, I have uncle and my sisters." Okay, living in Louisiana. Okay, fantastic. Rosemary says, "You're doing a wonderful joy. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you." Rosie says, "We have friends who live in Georgia, and it's so odd to me that our whole country could fit inside the city or the state of Georgia, apparently." Well, it's a fact. It's interesting. Jacksonville is the largest city in the U.S. landmass wise. It's actually a huge city, even though downtown is pretty small compared to other metropolitan cities. But because the city encompasses so much area, it's literally the largest city in Florida. Which, if I mean, we have different sections where people live, but Jacksonville itself is huge. So that's, I guess technically that's our one claim to fame.
Yeah.
I can't think of any other thing that would make. Oh yeah, the Jaguars. Yeah, who won? Who won last weekend? Yay! Avery's not a football fan. He could care less. So.
No, it's of no interest.
Kathy says Molly Mango here. Who's Molly Mango? Did I miss somebody? Oh, she's probably gonna have to explain that one. Manuel says, "I watched the video with the call from Eugene." Yep. I'll often say I'm Eugene and forget to do the accent because that's his whole character is his accent, and I'll often forget. But I need to get better with my characters, to be honest with you. Kathy says, "Oh my gosh, I asked a scammer about the avatar system. He was he was upset that you asked that. That's funny. I don't know why they would be upset. I mean, you're simply just inquiring as to, how much they enjoy their job and whether or not the tools they're using are beneficial to them. I mean, you know, it makes them know that they're scamming you or that they're attempting to scam you. The fact that you know anything about how they do their job or what tools they use to do their job freaks them out and makes them hang up. So, all right, let me see what's going on here. Ben says, "Hey Ben, how's it going?" He says, "I should have told the female scammer that called that Medicare wasn't open on a federal holiday." Yeah, that's right. Friday was a holiday. So you're right. You're right. Manuel says, "Hello, my good friends. How are you doing tonight?" He's saying hello to everybody. Kathy says, "Beach bum character with a new hair." Yes, that's definitely me. Hey, Bill's here. Hey, Bill, how's it going? Bill says, I am in Texas and did not know about the crash. Really? Where did it
Yeah,
where did it happen?
it was Dallas, I believe.
Dallas, really? Oh crap.
Yeah, I saw it on Mr. Guns and Gears Twitter. Like he has a bunch of videos or Instagram, one of those two.
Oh, that's so
Yeah,
sad.
the news, some news is covering it.
Oh, I
It's
gotcha.
bad. I believe it was Dallas. Like I can check real quick.
Well, I got home from work and immediately started watching TV with the wife and eating dinner, and then I joined here, so I haven't checked out any news. So
Let me
Ben
see.
says southern cities tend to annex land for future tax revenue. Yeah, that is true. Oh, okay. This explains it. Kathy says her fake name is Molly Magoo for the scammers. Okay. That's a good one. That's a good
Yeah,
one.
B-17 collision at Dallas Air Show.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, if
Rosie says, I haven't heard about the crash, but hubby just said he had. God bless those involved and their families. Absolutely.
yeah, it's pretty scary. It
Yeah.
looks like something out of a movie, and it's like,
Wow. Bill says, yeah, Dallas. We have somebody new. Dooha, first live stream here. I am digging the new hairstyle, bro. Jovi. Bro Jovi.
bro, Jovi.
Well, to just quick explanation, this is the new young quarterback for the Jaguars. His name Trevor Lawrence, and he has long blonde flowing hair, and he often wears a Jaguar bandana like this, and they sell Trevor Lawrence bandanas with the hair. And
Yeah,
my sister and brother-in-law got it for me for Christmas, and I absolutely love it. And I said last week, if the Jags win, I was live streaming with it. So
yeah. I remember when I had hair.
I have video proof of you having hair.
Yeah,
Nice long hair too.
yeah, dude. And I had it shaved on the sides and the back. And when I put my hair down, my hair was so thick you couldn't tell it was shaved.
Yeah. We should tell people Avery was my best man at my wedding.
Yes, I was.
And that was back in the day. Did you have your hair in a ponytail?
Yes, for something like that, I would have had my hair in a ponytail.
You had your hair in a ponytail. But the way we actually got married in my in-laws house, it was honestly, it was a quick wedding. We only had a few days to plan, and so we had brought in a trestle and it was in the living room and everybody was lined up, and there was this huge candle opera setup on one side, and it
Yes,
was the side that Avery was up against,
and,
and this thing had lit candles on it.
and I believe it was your mother-in-law kept, who would be your mother-in-law, kept
Yes.
moving me closer and closer to it, and it's like, this is flame. It's
He was
hot.
He
This
told me
is a
afterward he was afraid his hair was going to go up on fire.
yeah.
That would have made for a very interesting story.
True.
I think the only interesting thing, I mean, out of the ordinary that happened during the ceremony was that we were standing there for so long because the minister who was presiding was a family friend, and he gave this really long speech before we did the I do's. And when he finally got to the "Do you take this woman?" blah blah blah, he got me first, and I had a frog in my throat when I went to go say "I do," and it didn't come out as succinct as it should have. And my wife was she was had she was gonna deck me if the words that came out of my mouth were not "I do," and they were more like I do. She told me later. She said she was looking at me and she was ready to knock the crap out of me if it was
Well,
not "I do."
you guys were kids
I
still,
know,
like
I know.
20.
No, we were less than that.
You were
I
19.
was 19. She
You were
was
19.
18.
Yeah, you were 19.
Yeah,
Like
we were barely babes,
yeah,
babes
still
in the wood.
babies.
Yeah. But 29 years later, still here.
Still together.
That's right.
Two grown
Yeah,
kids.
that's right. And they're good kids too.
Yeah, they are.
I kind of like them.
I've grown fond of them.
Yeah, yeah. Especially since they don't ever ask for money, you know? If they ask for money all the time, you'd
Uh-huh.
be really annoyed with them.
Yeah.
But no, they're good kids. They have their own jobs, they have their own apartments, they have their own cars.
Yeah.
They're very happy, and I'm happy for them. So, all this hair's just getting crazy. All right, let me get back to the chat and see what's going on. All right. Let's see. Kathy says they were covering the crash here in Arizona. Okay.
Yeah.
Dew says, "Oh, it's a wig. Yeah, yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. My hair's not this wonderful." Says, "I don't blame you there. We had to pay like $2,000 for our wedding destination." Oh, what had happened is our son was born, and then 10 days later we were married, and we did that technically for insurance purposes. I mean, there was no way I wasn't going to claim him. He was, trust me, he came out looking exactly like me. There was nothing like that, but it was quickly done. And I think the whole thing, start to finish, cost $800. And you know who paid for the majority of that bill? Her grandmother,
Her grandmother.
the one who we moved in with and took care of
Yeah.
when she got dementia. And yeah, I paid her back a dozenfold. So
Yeah.
she was a good lady. We loved her. She's no
Yeah.
longer with us now. She's in a better place.
I ran into her a
Yeah.
few times because I would run into Mikey at like someplace, and he
And
would
he'd
be
be with her.
he'd
Yep.
be with her.
He was definitely like her chaperone. He would
Yeah.
definitely be with her.
Hmm.
One of the funniest things. Now, she was a 100% pure Southern woman, Southern
Hmm.
lady,
Hmm.
which means little bit of the racist in her. I mean, it's just normal. And I thought it was hilarious the time I brought Romel over to dinner. She was so shocked at how well behaved he was. He was a perfect gentleman. And I'm thinking to myself, that boy's a dog.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But she was so impressed. She told him he could come back anytime. He was the nicest, sweetest young man. And
Yeah. Yeah. Ramel's a normal dude.
he's a normal dude, especially when he's around parents.
Yeah. Yeah. Ramel understands social cues and
He
social
does.
norms.
Where I have no
Yeah.
basis whatsoever. Yeah, I'm the one that dropped my drawers to show my mother-in-law my underwear for Christmas one time. Yep.
No, look at these.
She still remembers that too. Did I ever tell you that story?
I'm sure you did back when you did it.
Yeah, it was one year that somebody got me boxer briefs for Christmas, and I'd never had boxer briefs, and so I went ahead and I tried them on, and then we went over to their house like we do. You go to
Yeah.
every family's house, and she asked me what I got for Christmas. I said, "Well, I got boxer briefs," and she's like, "What are those?" She'd never heard of them. I said, "Well, here, let me show you."
They're really comfortable.
They are, and I don't think I've worn them ever since then. I don't know why. Maybe
That's
it was
all. That's
maybe it
all
was
mine.
maybe it was the simple fact that I mentally scarred her for life. But oh well. All right, back to the chat. Let me see what else is going on. Let's see. Let's see. Dew says, "Oh, it's a wig." Laugh. Okay, got that. Says, "I don't blame you there. We had to pay like two." Okay, yep, that was the last one I read. I really need to leave these up until I go on to the next one. That way, I know which one I left off on. Rosie says, "Welcome to Dew. This is a fun chat. Welcome." Tim's here. Hey, says, "Do the Michael Jackson."
Yeah, me
Who
almost catching on
did the
fire.
Michael
Yeah.
Jackson? Oh, yes, yes, yes. Luckily, it didn't happen because that whole story about me being the spawn of the devil probably would not have subsided if somebody had caught fire at my wedding.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Plus, back then I was really attached to my hair. I would
you
have been
were.
mad.
Yeah, you. Yep. Well, I appreciate you being there. Bill says there are many bloopers of wedding pictures of hair on fire. Oh, that's horrible. Luckily, Did not happen to us.
No.
Yeah. Do says thank you to Rosie. Rosemary says, "What about Pittsburgh? What about Pittsburgh? What happened in Pittsburgh? I don't think I've
I don't
ever.
know.
Have I been to Pittsburgh? I know I've lived in Pennsylvania. I think I went to I think I went to a convention in Pittsburgh one time, but I didn't stick around long enough to check out the city. I was there for the convention, and when it was over, I left. So I don't do a lot of sightseeing. So Manuel says, I enjoy watching your videos on YouTube, Drew. You're doing an excellent job, and I'm proud of you. Thank you, sir. I appreciate you being there. I appreciate your comments. I appreciate you joining the live stream. Manuel is a good dude. Very good. Rosie sends, do a virtual hug, which is code for something. I haven't cracked the code yet, but I know it's code for something. Do says, yeah, my wedding video, I looked like I was seeing a ghost when she was walking towards me. Oh, that's bad. Actually, I had gotten a cable that allows you to connect a standard VCR to your computer. That way you can convert VHS tapes to digital files. And the very first thing I did was convert our wedding video into a digital file. So I have the whole wedding, the wedding that a friend of ours, Billy, had did. He made it camcordered everything. The thing that gets me about watching that video, granted 30 years ago, 29 years ago, is how many people that were there that day are no longer with us. Grandma, grandpa, other grandma, uncles, Billy's no longer with us. He was the one videotaping. How many of those people are no longer with us? And I'm watching this video and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's like watching ghosts because they're not here anymore, you know? And I don't know if you've ever had that experience where you're watching an old home video and you realize somebody that you're watching is no longer.
I don't have home videos.
Oh, well, you've seen videos though, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
I've seen them. I'm aware they exist. I just
You're
don't
aware
have
they
them.
exist. Yeah, okay.
No, we didn't have camcorders. We were really, really, really poor.
Yeah, now everybody has a camera on their cell phone, you know?
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, but when I was growing up, man, I didn't have a DVD was out in the thing before we had VHS player.
Yeah, yeah.
Like when everybody was getting Nintendos, I got a Nintellivision.
I remember the one year I had started buying Blu-rays and my wife was like, you don't own a Blu-ray player. I said, I know, but I will one day.
Yeah.
I will one day. So I was buying, like Black Friday, I bought a whole bunch of Blu-rays and she's like, you can't watch any of those. I said, I know, but one day I'll have a Blu-ray player. And then my sister-in-law bought me a Blu-ray player for Christmas. So I was like, cha-ching.
Yeah, I'm very thankful for the way things are going now compared to when I was growing up, how bad it was.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, could you imagine if we had Twitter and Facebook and TikTok when we were in high school?
I wouldn't have been on it. Maybe by high school I would have, because I did have a little bit of money in high school.
Yeah. Yeah, but some of the stupid, crazy things we did.
Oh, God, no. Yeah.
Thank God there's no record of it.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Oh, we would have got canceled.
Oh,
and we played things pretty safe.
Yes.
Compared to other 90s kids.
Yes, yes.
Like the stuff we did was nowhere near as bad, or at least as criminal.
Well, we knew the kids who inspired that scene from The Simpsons where the kids were videotaping themselves breaking into a house and doing crimes. That actually happened here in Jacksonville, and we went to high school with some of those kids.
The video vandals. It was because I was friends with the guy dating one of them's older sister.
Yep. We knew those people.
Yeah.
Nowadays, everybody's videotaping themselves doing stupid stuff.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
That whole story was like a he did what type of thing.
Yeah, I see people straight up posting felonies. It's like, okay, I can see your face and the face of everyone in this video, and every one of you is committing a class 3 felony.
Yep.
Like example, it was a bunch of high school kids after their graduation, right? These are all high
Mhm.
school kids straight out of high school. Every one of them pulls out a Glock.
Oh, jeez.
One, illegal for them to have that at that age.
Yes, yes.
Two, every one of them had been illegally modified with a fully automatic switch.
And were they videotaping themselves
They
playing?
they they filmed it, and every one of them showed their gun and the switch. It's like that's 10, 15 years automatic
Wow.
for each. It's like
Now, I don't think we were that dumb,
no, 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 no. I
but,
know people who
there
could
there
do things
was
like that, but
there were a couple of times where Todd and I, driving our cars, got into trouble. Like, I remember specifically playing chicken with a guy down some back street and hitting a mailbox.
mm,
Um, I there's a story that he and I have in which we were, like, flipping off some teenagers in another car, and then when we drove around my neighborhood, we actually saw the kids walking down the street, and they started chucking, beer bottles at his car. So
stupid shit. Although
we
there's
sh
been times where I was hanging out with Todd, and we'd somebody'd get flipped off, and then we'd end up getting chased by somebody in a car, like running through these neighborhoods. That's when Todd had that Trans Am or
Yes,
Camaro,
yes.
and
He
just
was very proud of that car.
running from trying to get away from some weirdo chasing us.
Yeah. Alright, let me catch up on the chat real quick. Bill says, "Are you into vinyl? I have many 1960 records and a record player." Really? I never got into the music stuff, the vinyl stuff. My big thing when it comes to physical media are steel bookcases, for Blu-rays. Actually,
Yeah, for vinyl, you have to
that
have the hearing that you can tell the
yeah.
difference. Like my hearing, I can't tell the difference because I have scarring on my eardrums, so I can't hear the difference.
Yeah, there is a store in the flea market, Doo-Wops, that sells
Hmm.
vinyl records, but that guy's kind of a jerk. I don't ever mess with him. So
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. He's been there a long time.
yeah, yeah, he has. Anyway, he says, Bill says, also many 8 tracks and the working tape player.
Oh, that's cool.
That's cool.
Vinyls come back. It's got an audience, man. It's because some people really can't hear the difference, and vinyl is a much richer sound than anything else we have. It's than
I
digital.
think I think a lot of the vinyl stuff that has come back lately is just because of, you know, Gen Xers thinking it's cool.
Well,
I don't know if
hipsters too.
there's hipsters.
Hipsters.
I don't know if there's enough of them out there, but there's enough to where Walmart has them and Target has them, and
Hmm.
there aren't record stores anymore, so you might as well. So,
Yep.
but I know some of those older ones, those original ones, can be very collectible. I don't know
Certain
about eight
albums.
tracks, so
Certain albums can be very collectible.
yeah, yeah. All right. Do says, ha ha ha. I had an Indian friend from work as a groomsmaid, and my grandma had some less than positive remarks. Oh, you gotta love grandmas. You gotta
Yeah.
love grandmas. Rosie says, yes us too, Drew. So many family members passed since our wedding video too. Yeah, it's just I don't know. A wedding video is something most people have, and if you go back and watch it, and one of the things that's crazy about my wedding video, once again, 29 years ago, me, Avery, Todd, Romel, Jen, everybody was there. Everybody who was there were babies. We were so young. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I don't remember being that young. I don't remember being that looking that the chubby little kid, you know? I don't
Yeah.
remember that, but I've got videotape proof that it happened. So, but I may have to watch it again. I don't know. I watch from time to time. I watch some of the Lapdog Press video, which is
Yeah.
another funny one. But
And we we
oh,
we were all kids, man. We were
we
all
were.
teenagers or in early 20s.
I wish I could reach back in time and slap the shit out of some of them sometimes.
Yeah.
especially myself.
Yeah, myself, I tell myself to work harder in some areas back then.
I would tell myself while still in high school to just read the damn books. Just read the book. I mean, it's not hard. Just read the book. You'll do better in school if you just read the books.
Yeah.
I did really bad about not reading the books. And it wasn't like it was difficult. It just,
Yeah.
oh well. All right, let's see what else is going on here. Rosie says, lovely memories and being able to see everyone laugh, smiling and happy. Would love to be able to step into that video again. My parents, their 50th anniversary is next year, and we're in the process of setting up a party. A lot of my mom and dad, they're inviting a lot of relatives and so forth. And so here's the funny thing. My sister and I are the ones responsible for throwing the party, which, no problem. We had a gathering, me, mom, dad, and my sister. We got together. My mom went through a list of all the different things she wanted to have there, wanted to do there, and so forth. And my sister was dutifully taking notes, and she was showing us everything she had already done and so forth. And she recently took care of the RSVP cards, which is she sent invitations out to everybody with a return envelope for the RSVP card. And when we got ours, the thing that was really funny is at the bottom of the card, it literally said, if you have any questions, do not call Drew, call Tracy, because he will tell you, call Tracy. And I read that and went, everybody that's invited to this party is going to see that note. And damn, do they not know me very well. They know me perfectly. And I called my sister up. I said, I can't believe you did this. She says, it was your mother's idea. And I said, well, y'all know me really well. So everybody's going to get a kick out of their little joke at my expense. But yeah, that's all right. I deserve
Don't tell
it.
Drew secrets either.
No, you can tell me a secret. Just make sure I know that it's a secret I'm not supposed to share with anybody. I'll take that to my grave. I've got a couple that are going to my grave. Then I got a couple I'll tell you about later. All right, let me catch up on the chat real quick. Tim says, I grew up poor, but we did have a pot to pee in. So it was in the it was
over in the
it
corner.
was over in the corner. Yeah. Isn't
Yeah.
that where most of the pots to pee in are at? In the
Yeah.
corner? Okay.
Yeah.
Bill says, I remember watching a couple of the first videos on YouTube. One was two college guys dancing around in their room in thongs. So stupid.
Yeah. But thing is,
man.
that's the time we should have got on YouTube is when it was new.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Because back then, if you just posted once a week in almost anything, you could build a channel.
Adrian's here. Adrian says, I'm a Medicare supplement advisor from Healthcare Benefits. Do you know what is healthcare benefits? What's so funny is I get so many calls from the scammers, the Medicare scammers. I've yet to actually speak to a licensed agent who has actually gone into any detail. When I start asking them questions, most of the reactions I get, like if I ask, hey, what's your license ID number? Or what's your callback number? They usually say, obviously you're not interested in this information. It's like, I'm just asking general information. Come on. And then they hang up. Like, okay, whatever. I got one the other day. He was super, super rude. And they're not very nice people. And I'm sure they're overwhelmed with calls and they're overwhelmed with dealing with people, but they're not nice at all. Even the real ones, they're not nice. So screw with them just out of pure, I need something to do. David's here. David says the best places to get original LPs is a used record store. Yeah, that's what Doo-Wops is at the flea market. It's a used store. But yeah, I've never been a collector of vinyls.
Yeah.
Actually, to be honest with you, I've got a box filled with some vinyl records that were given to me by, actually, I think it was Todd that gave them to me. And I have no idea what's in that box. I mean, it's in a stack of boxes I've yet to go through in the store. And the last thing I want to do is put them out for sale, because then people will be thinking I sell records, and I don't.
Hmm.
And yeah, I don't want to be. Did I ever tell you that when we first got the kitten, Betsy, everybody knows Betsy, right? And the door's shut, so she's not visiting right now. My wife and mother-in-law went away for the weekend when we had just gotten her. So I set up one of the kennels in the store so that I could keep her with me. And she slept during the day, but no big deal. But I literally had people coming into the store asking me if I've sold pet supplies, because I had a kitten in a kennel inside the store. I'm like, no, I don't sell. You want a kitten? I I would never have sold her if the money
Yeah,
was right. I damn sure would have. But
yeah.
by the way, her nickname here in the house is the Monster.
The monster.
The Monster. Yes, she is a monster. Manuel says, I have all records, 12-inch albums. Very cool. You got any of those real expensive classic ones? I mean, I don't know what they are, but you never know. Bill says, you've not lived unless you've had to adjust the vertical and horizontal knobs and change out a vacuum tube.
I remember when you had to adjust those knobs on TVs.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, hey, Betty's here. Hey, Betty. Says, hi, Andrew,
Hello.
in chat. I was popping in to say hi, but I can't stay tonight. Oh, that's all right. I appreciate you coming in. Betty's fantastic. If you guys aren't familiar with CJ SCAMS, that channel, you need to go check it out. I'm sure everybody here knows them. They're very popular, but she's good people, and I'm glad she's here. Bill says, let me add adjusting the rabbit ears to listening to the gossiper on the third party phone. I'm old. Hey, I had my first television was a small, like 8-inch black and white TV with
Hmm.
bunny ears. And
Hmm.
my sister and I both had one. And I thought that was the greatest thing ever. I would come home and watch TV, watch cartoons.
Yeah,
And I did not know there were color episodes of Gilligan's Island, because I always watched them in black and white.
yeah.
I didn't even know they had them in color. I was shocked when I found that out.
Remember putting like aluminum foil on the ears to try and improve the reception?
Yep. Yep. It never really helped, but hey, we
Yeah,
tried.
you'd have to change channels sometimes and adjust the track, adjust the
Yeah.
TV for the channel change.
David says all the scammers get their ideas from TV commercials. That's very true. That's very true.
Yeah.
Rosie says hello to Betty. Says have missed you, and sends her a secret message. Betty says hello back to Rosie's. Tango the cat's here and says hello, Betty Bam Bam. And Betty says hello, meow, to Tango the cat, who responds back meow to Betty. See, I know they're talking code. There's code going on in the chat. They're always talking code. Manuel says good evening to Betty. Happy Saturday night. Betty says tango. Rosie says to Bill, TV not having a remote control and big valves on the back that would burn out occasionally and need changing. Oldest child was the remote, as in, hey, put it on his BBC, etc. Yep,
Yeah.
we know exactly what that was like. Actually, I think my parents had a TV that had a remote that was connected to a cable.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Do you
Some of
remember that?
the
Yeah.
earliest remotes. Yeah. We didn't have one, but
Yep.
yeah,
Yeah, I
I
remember. I
remember 'em.
remember. I remember having a TV that had a long ass cable.
Yeah,
So
yeah, you're my to me it was like the rich kids
yes,
had
we
those.
weren't rich, but that was cool. You
Yeah.
know. Betty says hello to Manuel. Manuel says, I love your Betsy, beautiful kitten. Yeah, come and get her. She's all yours. No, she's not mine. I can't give her away, but there are days. There are days. You guys know exactly what I mean.
But the cat came back the very
Yeah.
next day.
Tango says poops a cat. Out poops the cat. Yes. Manuel says I watch CJ Scams on on YouTube and Twitch. Very cool. Very cool. Bill says I guess I'm not that old. Well, hey, we're all old here, to be honest with you. I think it's funny. I like my YouTube channel demographics. Gives me information about my audience.
Uh-huh.
More than 50% of my audience is like 45 and older.
Mm-hmm.
That's us. That's the rest. The rest is
Yeah,
small potatoes. But I mean, that's fine. That's my people. That's my people.
yeah.
I I I
I'm
seriously
just
doubt.
really immature for my age.
Oh well, I was gonna say I don't think I could attract a younger audience with my lame ass jokes.
I if you framed it right, you might could.
Yeah, I swear if I start doing the risky business slide dancing in my
Oh God,
t-shirt
please
and
don't
underwear and
ever.
socks, I could get a lot of views on my channel.
Oh, please don't ever.
Betty says, "Have a great day, everyone. I will reply. I will replay it tomorrow. Fantastic. Thank you, Betty. We'll see you next time." Manuel says, he remembers his mom buying her first TV in Chile. Oh, okay. Now, was it color or black and white? So mine was my first TV. Well, not the first TV that was in the home, but the first TV that I got to put in my bedroom
Yeah,
was a black and
black
white
and
one.
white. Yeah, almost lots of people's order.
The kids, my kids, their first TVs that they got were color, built-in. Was it a built-in VCR or a DVD player? I think it had a built-in DVD player
Possible.
or maybe a VCR. But it was one of those. It was one of
Yeah,
those TV VCR
yeah,
combos.
yeah.
Then that
Because
was their first TV. My
yeah,
first TV was a little black and white.
yeah.
Theirs was a full color when it
By the
wasn't much
time your
bigger.
kids came along, those little combo things were pretty cheap.
Yeah, yeah. Rosie says goodnight to Betty. Pez is here. Says good day from Oz. Welcome, welcome. Rosie says I was the remote in our house. Yep, yep. Everybody had that experience when they're younger. My kids never had to. We always had a remote for them. So
Yeah.
which always got lost. Rosie says hi to Pez. Welcome. Star Bright 999 says how do you upload? How do you upload? Do you mean to YouTube? Well,
There's a button.
there's a create button, create video, upload video there. It's pretty simple. I have to say YouTube is pretty user friendly when it comes to publishing a video.
Mhm.
Creating a video, that's a whole nother story. That's a whole different story. Betty says hi to Rosie's. Tim says I would pick up Art Bell sometimes if it was allowed to stay up late in the summer. AM radio always sucked.
Yeah.
I actually remember I had a TV in my bedroom that had cable.
Mhm.
And I remember getting up in the middle of the night and turning on the TV and putting on Cinemax.
Uh-oh.
Oh yeah.
Pervert.
Yeah, well, hey. And I remember they had that sex show. It was like just nothing but it was
Oh,
like documentary
oh,
stuff.
Real Sex on HBO.
Yes, yes, yes. And it was I remember turning it on one night and it was like the whole episode was about old people sex.
that'll that'll fix you.
That'll do
That'll
something to you.
that'll teach you a lesson.
Maybe that explains a lot, I guess. I don't know. All right. Rosie sends virtual hugs. Nigel is here. Hey, good evening. Welcome to the show. Tim says Art Bell was a cat and Art Bell was a cat lover. Oh, okay. I don't think I've ever really paid much attention to Art Bell. I'm familiar with him and I know what show he did, but I don't think I ever really listened to it. At least not on a regular basis to where
Yeah.
I could point it out.
Yeah, I never did either.
Tank. Oh, excuse me. Tango says lost in space. Danger, danger. Manuel says black and white regular TV. Yep, yep. These kids today are spoiled. Nowadays, if your first TV is probably a flat screen, probably 32 inches or bigger, you know, kids. Rosie says hi to Nigella. Rosie says love Lost in Space. Actually, I liked the first Lost in Space movie. I enjoyed the heck out of that.
What, the
But I
modern
think
one?
no, the one with Joey from Friends.
That's not the modern one?
No, there was one from like the 90s. No, it was later. It's got to be in the 2000s because I remember me, Jen, and the kids made a trip up to North Carolina
Oh, wait, I
because
think
we
there
were.
was a Netflix one or something.
No, it was before the Netflix one. It was a movie. It was a standalone movie, and I remember going to see it with the kids while we were in North Carolina, and we had a really good time.
Yeah,
But
I saw part of the one with Joey from Friends. I didn't care for it. I liked the original show.
I never watched the show. I never watched the original show.
I watched all those kind of shows from back then because they were, that's what I had to watch.
Yep.
No, no cable.
Yep.
I watched a lot of Lucille Ball, Gilligan's Island,
I
Hogan's
remember
Heroes,
Bonanza.
Bonanza.
Yep.
I watched a lot of that.
Wild Wild West. Loved Wild
Yeah,
Wild West. Yep.
Maverick.
So I don't think I ever watched Maverick. I was familiar with it, but I just never watched it. I was mostly cartoons. So, all right, let me see what else is going on here. Adrian says, today I got a call from a Medicare scammer. He said, how old are you, sir? I said, 19. Then he said, do you have any windows in your home? I said, yes. And then he said, go and jump out from that window. That's sad. That's sad. Bill says, the uploads look like a video camera. I think you can actually record a video direct. Yes. I think you can actually record a video directly into YouTube from like your computer. I think that's an option as well.
Oh,
but kind of like live streaming.
I haven't published a video in so long. I don't remember.
Poor baby. Rosie says, we watch the DVD box set we binge watched the DVD box set a while ago. Okay, excellent. Starbright says, so what green little mine didn't say, wait a minute. So what green light mine didn't say upload? Actually, I don't think it's an upload. I think it's the button. Isn't it a oh heck. It says create. Yeah. Bill says old people sex. You are saying way too much. Yeah. Trust me, I only ever did it once. Tango says, I'm from a cat rescue. Oh, okay. Well, very nice. Rosie says, old people boffs. That might be a bit TMI, too much info. Just the specifically adapted trolleys alone would be a put off. Wasn't there a sex movie with Jamie Lee Curtis where she played a prostitute or something? I remember seeing something with her in it. It wasn't a documentary, I don't think. Anyway, this is just crazy ass stuff I remember seeing as a kid. When I I don't know. The original Lost in Space is fabulous, says Rosie's. She says the original Addams Family and the Munsters, of course.
Yeah.
Has anybody watched that Munster movie?
Dude, no. But the original Addams Family is the reason I have a thing for goth girls because Morticia Addams was hot.
Oh yeah. I watched the trailer for the Munster movie and I said, nah, it's all right. I'm gonna skip that. I was just wondering if you'd seen it.
No.
Rosie says, Tango the Cash, our fur baby Jade, a Saffy crossed Staffordshire Terrier, was from a rescue too. Rescue babies are the best. They are very... You'd think they'd be more appreciative. I'm just throwing that out there.
I don't think
I know dogs are, but cats...
I don't think animals have a concept of gratitude.
Yeah, I know. Other than to sit on your chest and fart. That's what the puppy that lives here does to me every now and then. He'll sit on my chest and I'll stroke him and I'll give him a head. You'll be like, what was that? Oh my God, Tyler. Oh.
Awesome.
he's very comfortable with me, you know. David says OBS Studio for streaming.
Yeah,
Actually, we use StreamYards.
yeah.
It's you can sign up for free for StreamYards, so that's one. I have OBS Studio. I barely ever use it. I really,
I
yeah,
used it back when I was on Twitch.
yeah. Um, Darlene Gilbert's here, says love your show. I watched a lot of old TV shows too. Fantastic. You know, I've been watching old shows, but that are
Mhm,
really not that old. Like I'm watching The Wire right now
mhm,
on HBO Max.
mhm.
That was 2003,
Yeah.
I think, in that time frame. But I never watched it, so it's all new to me. But I'm just shocked at how many actors were in that show that went on to be in other shows that I clearly recognize them from. I mean, there's a lot of them. It's like I mean, the guy that plays the priest in Walking Dead
Mhm.
is in that show.
Yeah.
And when he first showed up and he was there, I'm like, he looks so familiar. Who is he? Who is he? And once I realized who it
Uh-huh.
was, I was like, holy crap.
I watched The Thing from Another World, which
Hmm.
is the original version of The Thing. John Carpenter's The Thing.
Yep.
Well,
Yep.
the original 1951 movie, James Arness, who played Matt Dillon on Gunsmoke, played The Thing.
Oh, okay.
I
So
never
I
knew that. I never realized that.
which is the later one, like the 70s one? Was that Kurt Russell or something like that?
Yes, Kurt Russell. That's
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 the one that's
that's
the
the
one I'm
Roger
familiar
Corman.
with. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's the one I'm familiar with, is
yeah.
that one. Okay.
Well, that one's phenomenal. And you know what? The newer one they made, it's like a prequel, which is one of the characters is loosely based on a
Mhm.
character from the 1951. That one is okay. It's okay.
Okay, okay. Is that something that they're remaking?
I hope not. They should leave that alone because it's a
Mm,
masterpiece.
well, you know they're gonna screw that up then.
Yeah,
And it'll be Netflix, and it'll be a series,
John,
and it'll
yeah,
suck.
the John Carpenter, the thing, not Roger Corman.
Right, right.
Yeah, John. It's fantastic. I love it.
Yeah. Bill says, "Sorry, the upload tab looks like a video camera, and it's the left of the notification bill." Yep, that's right. David says, "Trading Places." Okay,
Oh
that's a good
yeah,
one. That's a
yeah,
good
yeah,
one.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Rosie says the Jamie Lee Curtis movie was Trading Places with Dan Aykroyd. No, 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 no. That was. I know which one you're talking about. I know which one you're talking about. But this was another movie where she played a prostitute, and it wasn't Trading Places because it wasn't a comedy. It was a serious movie.
Oh, okay. Now I'm gonna have to Google.
Yeah, I guess so. Uh, Tango says L'Oreal and Hardy. That piano was so much trouble in delivery. Okay. Bill says, I just watched a documentary on Cousin It. Oh, really? That's funny. And Rosie says, oh no, the trailer for the new Munsters movie looks awful. I didn't think the two leads had ever seen the series, but the actor playing Grandpa looks the part. But no, won't be seeing it, I think. Yeah. See, there's times where I'll watch a trailer and I'll say, okay, I give it a shot. Then there's other times like that one where I'm like, no, thank you. I'll just let Avery tell me whether or not it was good or not. I'll take his word for it.
What was
Manuel
that?
says the Munster movie.
Oh,
Manuel says I watch Batman and Robin show every week, and the Munsters and Bewitched, Adams, 12 Plus, MacGyver, Gunsmoke show, and the Brady Bunch. Oh, I watched the Brady Bunch too. The Brady Bunch was awesome.
was it Money on the Side?
I don't remember the name of it. I don't know the name of it.
Yeah,
Was that one that she was in?
yeah. It's a Karen Valentine, Jamie Lee Curtis, three middle class housewives who are having money problems join a prostitution ring.
Yeah, that could be it. So not Trading Places. Bill says Kurt Russell is best. And Manuel says mix, make Adams family. Okay. All right, guys. We gone long again because it happens almost every weekend. We go long. But I appreciate everybody coming in the chat. I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your weekend. And once again, remember, if you get calls like the ones I get that I share with you, oh, let me ask you all a question.
Uh-oh.
I have dozens and dozens and dozens of videos that have yet to make it into a video for YouTube yet, recordings that have yet to make. I was thinking of just taking a whole bunch of them and just stringing them together like 2 hours long and just putting out a video like that. You think anybody would be interested in that? I mean, it's just it's a lot of the same old crap, but you know, I like to take the best of the best and make them into videos for the channels. But to be honest with you, I've got so many. I don't know. Would anybody? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. You never know. All right. Anyway, hold on a second. Tim says JB Lee is hot.
You can call
Okay. She was never high on my list of, but
she looks like her father in the face so much.
Bill says nice live stream. Thank you so much. Rosie says yes, a long video would be great. Okay, let me look. Let me think of it. I honestly have some recordings that are all the way back from the end of last year. I've yet to make into videos.
Call it the best of the worst.
So, just
because
and if somebody complains, well, those were boring. So, well, that's why
that's why.
That would actually work. I may do that. Maybe do a year-end video, like at the end of the year, because this year I've dedicated to doing at least one video a day, and other than maybe 2 days that I missed or scheduled incorrectly, I've been pretty on every day. So maybe I'll put like a whole bunch of recordings at the end of the year and like one mass video or something, just for poops and giggles,
All right.
Yeah, you never know. All right, Bill says, more Kit Boga, more Misfit Corner. There you go. And Darlene says yes to a long video. So, okay, I'll definitely do it just for you guys, but it'll probably be like a year-end thing just to get rid of some of the videos because I don't want to say backstock them, but I literally have a file folder just filled with videos that have yet to be made into a video for the channel. So best way to get rid of them. Anyway, fantastic weekend. Go Jags. I hope your teams win. And next time we'll talk about cricket again too, because I don't know how the people in cricket did. So that'll be for next time. Good night, everybody.
Good night, guys.